Hi, so for this video today, I'm going to show you how to create a quiz in Learning Catalytics. So the first thing you need to do is log into your Learning Catalytics account and go to your home page. So this is my home page. Then what you need to do is choose the course in which you're going to create the quiz. So for today, I'm going to create my quiz in this low YL demo course. So you simply click on it and it will bring you to this course site. Now in this course site, you will see the list of quizzes that you have created. But because this is a demo course, I've not created any quizzes yet. So this would be the table and it's empty. Now a quiz in Learning Catalytics is called module. So to create a quiz is simply creating a module. What I simply have to do is just click on the button Create Module. Once you go in there, you'll be asked to give the module a name. So I'm going to give the name called Demo Quiz 1. All right. And then to give it a date. So I'm going to choose today's date. Note that this is actually not the delivery date as stated in the instructions, but it is actually the date that is used for sorting the modules within the table you have seen on the course page earlier. All right. Then next thing you need to select would be the response type. There are a few types of response type quizzes you can give. The typical ones that I would use would be the instructor-led synchronous one, the self-test, and the team-based assessments. So these are the three common ones that I use. It's okay, you can choose any one of these. You can always change it later. So what are the differences between these three? I'll briefly go through. On my Google site, there is an instructional video which I have taken off the YouTube that actually elaborates and talk about each of these response types in detail. So briefly, instructor-led synchronous quiz would be one in which is typically delivered like in lecture or classroom, where the instructor will deliver the questions one by one, and the instructor get to control the amount of time that the students take to respond to each question. The second one that I often use would be the self-test. This is a quiz which I can actually deliver to students outside the class, and they can use it as a self-test and immediately receive feedback on each of their responses. Lastly, the third one that I often use would be the team-based assessment. This is the reason why I'm using Learning Catalytics, but I'm not going to go too much into it. We're going to set up a quiz first, add in the questions, and in another instructional video, then I'll talk more about the team-based assessment. Usually, if this is a new quiz and the questions are new, and I need to test the questions, the setting I would choose would actually be the self-test. This allows me to do any testing on the quizzes, check that everything is okay before I change the setting and deliver it as a team-based assessment. So this is what I'm going to do today. Set it as a self-test, and then I press Save and Continue. Once you do that, you see that there's more settings for you to customize the module. So this is the part response type where you can actually change to a different response type. So I'm going to keep it as self-test. Okay, you can set, because it's self-test, of course I can deliver this out as a test. I can put in a start date and end date. I'm going to leave it empty today because I'm just going to use it for testing. All right. Of course, there are things like participation weighting, where you can decide whether you also want to award marks for participation. I'm going to keep it as it is. And whether you want to allow students to respond to each question multiple times. Note that if they're allowed to respond to each question multiple times, they will not receive immediate feedback on each question. They will only receive immediate feedback after the last response is recorded for the class. Then lastly, you want to check whether you want to allow students to review their performance on the module. I'm going to keep all this the default setting. And this is the place where you're going to create a new question or add a question from the library. But this video is about creating quizzes, so I'm going to stop here. So I'm going to just save and finish. And you can see that demo quiz 1 was successfully updated, and the module doesn't have any questions yet, and you can now add questions by using the edit button. I'm going to go back to the course. Okay, and you can see that the quiz is created, but there are no questions yet. So this is how you create a module or a quiz in Learning Catalytics.